This is from the developers of Dustborn. It says, to our community, since we first announced Dustborn, we've read your comments and listened to your feedbacks, hopes, and wishes for the game. Over the past 4 years, our team has poured their hearts into telling a story that's deeply meaningful to us, a story about the power of words, about building a world where everyone can feel safe, about love, friendship, and robots, of course. We expected Dustborn to spark conversation and debate and look forward to engaging with our players in a positive and constructive fashion. Unfortunately, that conversation has been drowned out by a tidal wave of hate and abuse. Oh, okay. We welcome thoughtful feedback and respectful criticism. We embrace discussion and debate, but we have zero tolerance for hate speech, harassment, and threats of any kind. To those who engage in such behavior will be removed from our community. To everyone else, thank you for coming on this journey with us. Your support means everything, and your constructive feedback continues to push us to learn and evolve. Together, let's continue building a world where everyone can feel valued and empowered to share their stories. Powerful, Savvy, powerful. I see a response to that, but how would you like, do you just want to verbalize?
We'll just jump in real fast. Notice how they say discourse and they want conversation, but they lock the thread?
Excellent point, Blabs.
Why is this tax funded by two different governments under the guise?
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, yes. Under the guise of being a disinformation countering game for educational purposes, they submitted requests for funding to the American government through the embassy and received $250,000.
So my tax dollars that I have to pay every quarter because of YouTube went to go fund this fucking game when they could have fixed the bridges.
As a matter of fact, I got to be honest, just that statement triggers me. And I'm going to just throw that up there right now because that's just, I'm so triggered by this.
Did you really make a trigger? Oh, dude.
That's from the game. That's from Dustborn, by the way. Wait,
no.
Alex, hold on. You don't know yet.
All I know about is the fucking song.
Oh God.
Bless him.
Oh dear.
You sweet, untainted child, Alex. And that's a lot.
The roles have reversed.
Yes, how
really pure.
Yes, you're so
wait, who's on top? Blabs or Savvy?
The TLDR is you are a punk rock band group that's traveling because you stole intel from a government facility, and now you have to go from basically California up to Maine in order to get to Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia, the land of the free there, bud. Free healthcare. But you get into some shenanigans along the way, and that's about as much of sense as I can make of the story without diving into specific instances. The glowing ghost sperm, however, attracts jellyfish tentacle monsters that do try to molest people, and you have to fight those off. Now, you might be thinking that's surely all the ghost sperm does, but it actually also, when convenient for the plot, interacts with the environment to open doors, move obstacles, or just collect random shit from cabinets because they couldn't be bothered to animate a cabinet pulling animation.
Bye, Alex.
You're introduced at first to the concept of these powers through triggering, which you use to make your best friend suicidal in a bathroom while cops are tearing down a vehicle in your garage for some reason. Yes. From there, when you finally do collect the ghost sperm about 4.5 hours into the game, you're taught how to sow discord into crowds. So discord is the first power-up. And I'm not too sure how it actually acts differently from trigger, but apparently you basically tell people, hey, this individual is lying and they're toxic and they're trying to control you and they want power. So you can turn an entire crowd against a very innocent ginger woman who refuses to wear shoes. Her name is Fred, by the way. She doesn't like people who are different from her because they lie. And it turns out the people different from her did lie, but you have to sow discord into a group. So that's how that happens.
Do they not realize the irony of what they're doing? Is it lost on them? There's cancel?
Yeah, there's cancel. You get cancel because you have to cancel people when you break into a government facility in the constant dust storm ridden area of Nebraska. For whatever reason, they're picking on Nebraska.
I don't. They're literally taking the things. Like, were they trying to be ironic in doing? Like, okay, tell me that there's like a big joke. Like it's like a self-imposed joke. Like, what if it's like?
You want the real joke?
Like, what if it's History of the World Part 2 and they're just doing like a whole bit, and the bit is this is so ridiculous, like using bullying and canceling
that's what I
then
thought.
be the good guys, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the bit, right?
That's what I thought. I really did think that this was made by right wingers who were making a game as if they were the left wing.
Does she have alopecia?
Yes.
She has the fetishized vitiligo.
Alopecia.
Alopecia's hair.
Yeah.
Vitiligo, I believe is what.
My favorite one is
I'm sorry.
albino.
My chat calls me bald constantly, so I'm balding on the constant brain. Is why.
Yeah.
Vitiligo. Excuse me.
So we got the robot. We got this lady who Blabs, from what I understand, and this will be a spoiler review. Isn't she a narc? Isn't she actually a narc? That she kind of turns on him.
Yes. So actually, her story is nobody gives a shit about spoilers for this. So Sai is probably one of the most incredible checkbox characters that I have ever had the displeasure of dissecting. So for those who don't know, Paint Tool Sai is a very popular free art program that you can get. I don't even think it's free. I think I've always had it. Okay, I just outed myself. Paint Tool Sai is an art program that is very popular. And it's great because you can get a pocket version and people use it all the time. I used it way back in the day before I got into Clip Studio, right? Her name is Sai, spelt exactly the same way, S-A-I. Now, she is an overweight, Muslim, sex-obsessed individual. The sex obsession is important. She also has no idea what s'mores are, despite food being her entire shtick. Of course, they have dialogue because they eat hot dogs. You know, she's like, "Oh, is this kosher or whatever the proper word is?" I don't know. And then they have to specify these are turkey dogs, so you can eat them. Right. And then they make a bunch of dick sucking jokes because she sucks a lot of dick, which I didn't know was part of the Muslim faith, but I guess so.
So she can't have a hot dog, but she can suck a dick.
She can suck a lot of dick. Now, she is shown several times engaging in Muslim prayer, which I think is perfectly fine in and of itself. The most interesting thing, however, when it comes to interactions is we are prompted twice to interact with Theo, the good little Catholic boy, while he's praying. The first time you are actually encouraged to play a prank on him with your quarter sister. I call her quarter sister because she is a quarter for an eye. She's not displayed here. She's the adopted Asian sister of the protag, which is right here in the BAM shirt with the bat. That's Pax, the 4-month pregnant individual. Beside Pax is Gnome, who is a non-binary woman going by they, them, who is actually rich.
Wait, the albino?
Who's pregnant?
The main character is 4 months pregnant. And you don't learn that until 8.5 hours into the game if you don't read their promo box.
Wait a second. So the albino actually is a non-binary? I thought it was an albino with like a prosthetic.
No, that is a woman who identifies as they, them.
Man, I really liked it. It was an albino. Never mind.
Yeah, this is just Rufus Shinra reskinned as a very confused rich individual who doesn't know how to manage money. And apparently, and this is a plot point that was also really weird with Gnome.
Rufus Shinra reskinned?
Yeah, that's
nobody else got that besides me.
Yeah. Now,
holy
also
shit.
Curiously, and I want to keep. So I got genuinely upset when it came to Mexican Hassan Piker because he is written as such a good character. And I don't mean good like, oh, the writing was there, it was spot on. I mean, he's just genuinely the goodest of boys. He's there to hang out. He's there to be your dad and your boss, and he cares about everybody. And he just wants to do the right thing because he realized that the program that he was on wasn't doing the good shit anymore, right? So it's frustrating. Because Thea, the developer, the design developer, game designer, whoever behind this, has tweets stating, "Oh, I'm going to put knitting men in all your games and you're going to like it." So Theo knits in the game. So this is important for what I'm building up to. They were able to make a character who they believe is the idealized version of a man to them. They then, for no reason, as if this is a fucking modern SpongeBob episode, torture the shit out of him like he's Squidward. And there's no reason for it. Theo does quite literally nothing wrong. We have to force him to be bad and to deviate from good behavior through our manipulative powers by bullying him. Theo does not deserve how he is treated, and in the end of the game, he fucking gets Thanos snapped by by a child who is supposed to be the personification of binary truth. Which, by the way, the child has to die to a giant re-blast from your fucking unborn baby, giving the most ironic pro-life fucking message I've ever seen in my life. These are like recaps at the end of every chapter of gameplay, and they tell you how many people also got the same level of interaction or did the same choice that you did. We've seen this before in other games. It's not a unique concept, but it is a fun concept. I actually really enjoy this. And so they obviously have all of the data collected because you got to, you know, when you connect online through Steam, blah, blah, blah. So on the panel in the top right, it's actually not the most impressive thing in the world. I guess this character I didn't interact with. I didn't even see him. I was walking through. This is when you're in Chicago and you're trying to find a bar, but it's just a hallway simulator, so you don't actually have to find the bar, right? But I blow past this character. So Pax ignores Hawker. That's his name. There is no one else in the world who has played this game that ignored that character. This is important because I ignored this character. However, this character, for no reason, when we're trying to get away from the cops who chase us out of the bar, sacrifices himself and most likely dies because he does what's called going nova. So we didn't have an interaction with this character, giving him zero motivation to save us later. He has no idea who we are, why we're in Chicago, what we're doing. We didn't interact with him. This is the illusion of choice, but they still needed the story to progress, so the MacGuffin had to MacGuffin and give us a way to get away from the cops.
You muted Craig, but I have a question about that little thing. Can you bring up the animation again, Craig? Who is the woman supposed to be? All right, right there. Is that actually like Kamala Harris?
So this was fucking wild. When we first walked into Chicago, there's graffiti people over there.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, they have Kamala propaganda, and the line that they have under there is enough. Now, this game was made they started making it 4 years ago. I have no idea how they could have predicted that because it looks like Kamala. It doesn't look like AOC. It doesn't look like anybody else who was a front runner woman for it. It wasn't Hillary Clinton. It's literally Kamala fucking Harris.
Maybe they just put it in at the last minute and they just changed whoever was there.
I have no idea. It's very possible.
That's
do you
wild.
want to lose your shit? Do you want to lose your shit?
Yeah,
Tinfoil moment.
Pull up Metal Gear Rising Senator.
Let's check it out.
Strongest will thrive, free to live as they see fit. They'll make America great again!
What the hell are you talking about?
And there is a really based moment where the Asian cop jumps you and stabs you. And she says that the cop that she was working with is a good man. And if he dies, I'm a fucking hunt all you down, starting with you. So she doesn't know that he's actually dead yet, which he's not. He's actually perfectly fine. But that kind of passion for your partner, that really spoke to me, you know? It really spoke to me. You're going into this compound. You're to be reunited with your family because main character needs to main character, right? She wants to go see her mom's, plural. She wants to see her sister, who's adopted and an Asian, right? So you're going to this compound, and she described it as a cult in the woods. It's very much so Blair Witch meets every single cult that you've ever seen before. And your mother, one of them, the one who's still alive, is the leader. Now, like any cult, of course, cults gotta make money. And you're presented to people who worship a deity that's never brought up again. And like any cult, needs to make money. So what do? They grow opium. Opium, if you don't know, can make an individual docile. It can lead to controlling people more easily. It's very addictive. There's a lot of problems with that. It is also incredibly illegal. But the mother is presented as a morally righteous individual who can do no wrong and who should be the leader of these people. The individual questioning them is a girl named Fred, the Barefoot Queen who looks like a ginger version of Abby from The Last of Us 2. And Abby, or I'm sorry, Fred, is not happy that an individual who is known to be able to manipulate people with their voice, she's not happy, obviously, that we've come back after 16 years after being sent away. Now, this morally righteous mother also lied to the half-sister, saying, well, she ran away, she left, she didn't want to be here anymore. But it turns out Pax was sent away for her own protection for some reason that's not entirely clear, because the cops have never found them before we show up. So Pax was sent away by the mother lied, the mother also grows opium, the mother runs the cult. Fred does not like any of this. Fred just wants them to go away. We cancel Fred. There's no love there. She needs to be reprogrammed. But then you learn the name of the other mom. And the name of the other mom,
Jeff,
is Rosa.
Okay.
Now, it took me a moment. Rosa Parks.
Yep.
Shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Hold on.
I got that instantly, actually.
Wait. Rosa Parks is the lesbian mother of...
They just used the name Rosa. But the obvious inspiration being that this place called Liberty, this place that is meant to be a safe haven for others, was started by two lesbian women, one of which named Rosa, for Rosa Parks.
Yeah, he looks like he's giving birth. Are you good, Alex?
I'm literally shitting my brain out from fucking having to hear that. That is the most on the nose fucking thing I've ever actually heard, besides when Quantic Dream did Detroit Become Human, and they did the whole like fist up thing, and like in the back, like being in the back of the bus is an android thing. Like
now,
that.
I loved Detroit Become Human. Great art, fan art community thriving. So much good porn. All the characters were so attractive and fuckable, man. Like, I didn't think I could be attracted to androids, man.
That's my savvy.
Yeah. But then on the complete opposite hand, they got behind this game.
Yeah.
And it just leaves you so confused. Now, to continue painting a picture of this compound, when you have a discussion after Fred has been effectively canceled and had her life ruined, she's curled up in a chair. And the other mother, whose name eludes me, I forget it because she really wasn't important. She's sitting there in front of her talking and petting her and saying, oh, you know, we don't abandon family. Even our chosen family is important. And for whatever reason, Pax has exposition information that she has no idea is true or not. So Fred was infected with one of the glowing sperm viruses that we had to extract from her head because it was disinformation, even though it was the truth. Pax is the one who says, everyone here lied to you. They don't deserve your forgiveness, especially not Fred. And that's when she says, oh, but, you know, family will help. And she's like, well, the damage is probably permanent. And she's like, we'll rehabilitate her.
There's a lot of, I think that's one of the main themes of the game, right? Is rehabilitation, all the negativity that's going on. And they're going to fix you. They're going to fix you good. Right. Yeah. Well, that's, we appreciate your bravery.
That is literally propaganda. The entire fucking thing is just propaganda.
The ending. So, like I said, it just gets worse. So the two factions of which you're fighting against, there's Justice, which was set up by JFK because this is an alternate timeline where instead of him dying, it's his wife.
Jackie dies? So wait, they have a woman die for a man? Interesting.
So in this alternate timeline,
she then becomes the martyr. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
JFK survives and his wife is shot, and then they say that he remarried to Marilyn Monroe, which of course everyone who actually knows a tiny bit of history knows how bad that is.
That's awful. That makes them so scummy.
Read Wikipedia before even starting that? Like,
this is about the extent of their knowledge. They're super excited. There's a scene where you're in a library and you have to extract an arm from an android. And the Asian character goes, "Ah, man, it's like messing with Frankenstein." And Pax goes, "You mean Frankenstein's monster?" Look, they read the book. They know who actually is the monster and who isn't. Everybody clap.
That was worse than my Scandinavian joke.
Yeah, that's pretty good earlier.
Oh, but it gets even worse. Hold on. To continue to quote literature and to show how smart they are, there's a character who you meet who's actually a midget former soldier, a veteran, who's also a demolition expert. He has a magic power, and of course, he used a shotgun to shoot Psy, because it's okay to use shotguns to shoot people when you're fighting the fascists. So he shoots Psy in the stomach, but there's no blood, and so she's about to die, and then he comes out in this little midget in a pink flamingo shirt, which, by the way, pink flamingos mean that you're a swinger. I learned that the hard way when I wanted to put pink flamingos in the front yard. Yeah, that's the thing.
Is that what that means?
That is what that means. If you see a flamingo in someone's yard, that means that they're open to other couples coming over for
who decides this? Like, yes, obviously a flamingo must mean swinger.
So do
Is this like back in the 90s when you had like your right ear pierced? Is that what that means?
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that. So you've got this midget with a PTSD plant who comes in, and his healing powers, he has magical MacGuffin healing powers that don't work when he needs them to, but they work other times to move the plot along. He has to activate the powers by speaking in rhyme poetry, but he hates rhyme poetry. And so I think it's the second poem that he actually does, I'm like, okay, there's no way that they wrote this themselves. I recognize this. I'm very poorly fucking read, mind you, but I knew that this wasn't by them. It turns out they're quoting Emily Dickinson. And so they quote a poem from Emily Dickinson where she essentially says, "I have no time for hate." And so they quote these things. He follows up after doing this saying, "Man, I hate this shit." He hates the positive messaging.
From
just as a side note, I imagine
not having.
On a side note, I just imagine this happening to Savvy one day.
I'm here for the gangbang.
So wait, you know what I want to do now, Savvy? I want to go back and watch all the old TV shows where like there were pink flamingos in the front yard and look at those like families and stuff like that. And, like maybe there was stuff I'm missing when I was a kid.
Do the meme like
Yeah, like
yeah, when you go back and catch all the adult references. Yeah.
This is what I feel like. This is you describing this. Like,
yeah.
Like this picture is Savvy.
How many drugs did you do, Savvy, when you were playing that game or like finished it?
So on the the first day I did make a gin drink, and I started the stream high because it was the only reason why I did all this, it was all impromptu. Lavender had posted the clip of calling the cops racist, and I said, "There's no way that this is real." And I sat there in my stoned little pea brain, and I was like, I have to experience this for myself now. I'm really going to do it. And then I saw the game was $30. And I'm like, fuck, man, I don't want to give them money, but it is government funded and I should. So I took the poll. People were interested. So in my stoned wisdom, I was like, fuck it, I'll just go live. The next day, I made sure that I was aptly stoned. And on the finale, I raw dogged it sober. And that's why I needed recovery.